In a world where the truth is hard to come by, there's that one guy, just a guy with a thought. World premiere. World premiere. Peoples of the worldwide federated internets. What is good? A topic of discussion today, something that's on my mind. I'm going to start with a Bible verse and then lead with a thought and a principle. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 13 and verse 20, the Bible says, "He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed." I'm pretty sure we've all heard the saying, you are the company you keep. That is a fact. That is true. That is an idea that none of us will escape. The older I get, the more I realize there's certain people I don't want around me. There's certain ideas and there's certain character traits I don't want around me. And that's not because I'm better. That's not what it is. That's because I can't be better if I don't surround myself with better. I can't surround myself with people that have no ambition to do better or be better than what they are. Now, I'm not talking about financial gain. I'm not talking about financial status. I'm not talking about where your bank account is or whether you're going to open a business. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm more talking about character than anything. You are the company you keep. We've all heard that saying. That saying is true. No man will escape that. I have seen people throughout my life surround themselves with destructive people and go down in a blaze of glory. Not really glory, but they definitely went down in a blaze. You will not escape that. When I look at the landscape of the people that I have around me, I always try to make sure that I watch my crowd. And that's not me coming off as pompous, like, oh, if you're not at this caliber, I'm not going to be around you because I am so and so. I'm nobody, but I want to be better. I want to do better. So I've tried throughout my life to surround myself with people that are striving for more, striving to be in a better place. And as I said, this is not just financially, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. All of those things matter. You ever notice that people who get around established people who are rich, not in every case, this is not in every case, but have you ever noticed? I'm just saying, people who get around other people who are rich and who have higher aspirations, those people normally succeed. Why do you think that is? It's because they see what these people are doing next to them and they're like, man, that's inspiring. I want to keep up. Now, there's two crowds, right? There's the people who see people doing their thing and who get jealous. And there's the people who see people doing their thing and think to themselves, you know what? This is exactly where I need to be. And so they start getting advice from these people they're around. How did you get that? What did you say you invested in? Oh, what did you do? Where did you shift your money? Oh, okay. You start doing research. You start looking up things you would have never looked up. The same thing applies spiritually. You can be at a point spiritually where you're just not where you're supposed to be. You get around some people who are what I would say more mature spiritually, and I'm talking about from a biblical sense. There's a lot of people that use the term spiritual. I'm not talking about this metaphysical, esoteric, look up into the sky. No, I'm talking about biblically spiritual. That's what I'm talking about personally. But you get around somebody who's biblically spiritual. If you are a believer, it'll make you want to reach higher. If you're not a believer, it'll make you wonder, what is it that they have? I need to look into this. And when you get around people who are emotionally stable, If you're a person that's an emotional wreck, you might start asking questions. Hey, man, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with that? How do you stay calm when things are falling apart around you? That's helpful, right? I have always tried to, at least in some way, shape, or form, in whatever crowd I was in whatever group I was around, I have always made an attempt to bring something to the group to add value, to bring something to the group to help other people. This is what we should strive for. Now, on that same token, I grew up with people. I've seen this happen. I've seen good people who seemed like they had it together in life, get around some people that really weren't all that good and go down in a blaze fast, very fast. You are the company you keep. I'm telling you, no man will escape this. Let's listen to that verse again. I'm not going to put the verse up today. You can go look it up. It's in Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. You won't escape that truth. You will not escape that truth. By the way, this is a side note. I had to segue into this. Did you see what the New Jersey governor said to Tucker Carlson about the Constitution? People like this need to be voted out. Let's go to the clip.
License plates in the parking lots, and we've got some of the nicest parks in the Northeast, if not the country. Again, it brings me no joy, but we felt that was the right decision to make.
Huh. So you made that decision, and as I noted before, 15 congregants at a synagogue in New Jersey were arrested and charged for being in a synagogue together. Now, the Bill of Rights, as you well know, protects Americans' right, enshrines their right to practice their religion as they see fit and to congregate together, to assemble peacefully. By what authority did you nullify the Bill of Rights in issuing this order? How do you have the power to do that?
That's above my pay grade, Tucker. So I wasn't thinking of the Bill of Rights when we did this. We went to first of all, we looked at the data and the science, and it says people have to stay away from each other. That's the best thing we could do to break the back of the curve of this virus that leads to lower hospitalizations and ultimately fatalities.
And I'm not contesting that, though. I think I do think there's a debate. This is a rolling conversation because we're learning new things every day, and nothing is settled at this point.
Understood.
But I do want, since you are an elected official, a leader in the government, an executive, how do you have the authority to order something that so clearly contravenes the Bill of Rights of the United States, the U.S. Constitution? Where do you get the authority to do that?
Well, here's the thing. We know we need to stay away from each other, number one. Number two, we do have broad authority within the state. And number three, we would never do that without coordinating, discussing, and hashing it out with the leaders, the variety of the leaders of the faith in New Jersey. We are among, if not the most diverse state in America, so we're used to that.
I'm sure that you talk to every rabbi and priest, but there's a deeper question here, and I'm just going to ask you one last time because I think it's important. I'm sure you've thought about this. You can't just, as the governor of a state, tell people who they can talk to when and where, because the Constitution of the United States, upon which all of this is based, prohibits you from doing that. So you clearly decided that you could do it. Did you consult an attorney about this? Did you? I mean, because this is a legal question as well as a medical one, isn't it?
I don't go to the men's room without consulting an attorney, so I guarantee you we did that. But I'll give you an example that was not related to the synagogue. I called up Cardinal Tobin, Cardinal Joe Tobin in Newark. There are 5 or 6 archdioceses in New Jersey. It was coming up to Easter and Holy Week in particular. And I said, listen, I'm really concerned about drive-through Holy Communion, because we had heard some stories about priests who unwittingly had the virus and unwittingly passed it on to parishioners. And he said, we're not doing that, I promise you, and I'll confirm that with my fellow bishops. That's not denying someone their right to worship in any way, that we have to find a different way to worship. And I think that's the point. God bless America.
Yeah, we're not. Government's not allowed to tell
way.
people how to worship.
Now, after seeing that, I got one thing to say. This is an elected official. This is somebody who should at least be familiar with the Constitution. This guy has no idea what he's doing. Above his pay grade? The U.S. Constitution is your pay grade. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. For somebody who serves in an office that is supposed to uphold the highest law of our land, that swears to uphold that doesn't know it. These are how rights are eroded. Remember what I said. If the U.S. Constitution doesn't matter, it'll never matter. Stay frosty, people.